Hey, what's up? Firelighter here. Today we're gonna be burning the wood that is Toast Tech's video with a one-shot commentary. You might be wondering why a one-shot and not a full commentary. Well, it's simple. I'm on holiday. So yeah, not exactly ideal video making conditions. But I gotta make something because I haven't made anything in nearly 3 weeks. Also, screw you, Pepper, for stealing my material. Surely you have something better to do with your time. Also, I'm just editing in post after this because I did a goof and managed to forget that I was supposed to explain the context. So, to explain the context of the situation, if you haven't watched my last video, this is a different branch of the Big Bang chain. In short, Dan Stein made a video ranting on Spyro the Bug Boy, a user who's made several live streams on him, and Kratos covered that video. Kratos' video was then covered by Dan, who was covered by Slumber, who was covered by Pepper, who was covered by Toast Tech, who was covered by Slumber, and now Toast Tech's making a response. Why is everyone in this chain Slumber?
Okay, this will be the end of my video, and by the way, I take something back from my video. I do think that I'm a better commentator than Slumber. Now, you might get offended by this, but prove me wrong by making a good video on this one.
The subjectivity returns, because absolutely nobody can look at this chain objectively. I mean, even getting past that, there are some serious issues with the point that you're presenting here. It's much easier to commentate on a bad video than it is to commentate on a good video, or at least in terms of making decent points. For example, it would be much easier to commentate on Slumber's original Dan Stein commentary than it would be to commentate on Ponder's video on the Sparkter situation. Even taking the extremity of that example away, your video here is mostly better than Slumber's, so it would be much more difficult for Slumber to commentate on this particular video with a good commentary. As such, it's not really enough to determine who is the better commentator. You're giving Slumber the harder task than you initially had. For a better example, it would be the same as taking a bag of sweets, and then somebody else takes a bag of spicy sweets, and whoever eats the more sweets is the better commentator. Stupid example, I know, but I think it illustrates my point quite well. Plus, in addition, it's really not the only way to prove that she's a better commentator and/or that she can commentate. There are many other ways, considering that you could just have the generalization of commentaries in general, numerous commentaries, and it's very possible to improve over time and/or make mistakes in commentaries. Speaking from experience, not every commentary is going to be an absolute banger. You'd need a lot more than just this to claim that she's a better commentator or you're a better commentator. Once more, there are other ways to prove it. Maybe covering the exact same video and somebody does it better than others. And again, this is the problem with subjective points. You seem to be mostly using a subjective point against Slumber here, so you're asking her to prove your subjective opinion wrong, which is not really possible. What could be subjectively good to one person could be subjectively abhorrent to another. In terms of final thoughts, there's not much I can say here considering I only covered one point, but what I will say is, Toast, I know and have seen that you can do better. I've seen it, I've witnessed what you can do at your best, and I think that you really need to take a look at the full scope of your point so that you get the best out of it, so that there's no real counter to it. I know that you don't write scripts because of your speech impediment, so maybe to curb this, just have someone check your video. That's all for today. If you want to see the other degrees, they'll be linked in the description. Since I'm on holiday and I'm working on data entirely, I didn't really have the time to collect them, but hopefully somebody made a document, and if they did, it's in the description. If they didn't, damn it, just check my last video on the chain.